I've spoken to just over 10 residents that live here in Hayesville. Some live in the area that the water is contaminated, others don't, but each of them tell me that the best way to deal with Hayesville water is not to drink it. The family has raised nearly $20,000 on their GoFundMe page. This will help with the funeral costs, but they're also asking with help towards the new home that the remaining family will move into. Tiff, now we're just moments from starting the ceremony here, but what I can tell you is there are a lot of broken hearts here today. Each person that I've spoken with says that there's just simply no explanation for this family's loss. Aaron, it was just over the weekend that a senior here at Marion High created this rainbow mural. Now, as you can see here, it is in a designated parking spot, but yet and still, it's caused some real issues for some of the folks that live around here, as well as gained some unwanted attention for folks at the school. As it stands, the pool is closed with no talk of reopening, and as you mentioned earlier, this has come with some controversy, some bite back from people that live in the community. They've been showing up to city council meetings and offering Plan Bs, the latest being to reopen the pool for a short period of time to allow kids in the community to have some free swim lessons. In less than 24 hours, Super Bowl 52 kicks off in Minneapolis. The Eagles and Patriots are getting ready for the big game, and so are the fans in the Bold North. The Brewers say they are mortified by the findings in the affidavit, specifically those that state that DCF had contact with Evan before he died. They believe DCF had enough reason to believe he was in danger.
Just stepping on by, oh, I'll close out this case. They seem okay to me. I saw him, he looked fine. He had a mark here, he had a mark there or something. He's alive. Next case.
Cheryl is Evan's aunt and had previously worked for DCF.
Children are being removed from some homes that may not necessarily need to be removed.
Absolutely.
But then others that really need to be focused on and removed, they're not.
The Brewers still working through the details released in the probable cause affidavit against Miranda Miller and Stephen Bodine. Right now, they feel DCF and the Wichita Police Department failed their nephew. They made multiple calls, pleading for help to find Evan, but say they still don't understand why he couldn't be saved.
At what point do the police get in? Who drops that ball? Who says, okay, we need to issue a warrant? Who does that? Is it a judge? Do the police, does DCF say this is what we need?
Questions they say won't help with closure because Evan is gone and can't come back.
The strongest little guy.
And so I know that my brother is just hearing him cry in his mind. And I mean, I'm sure he imagines, did he holler out for me, or did he holler out for Annie, or, did he holler out for his own mom?
And now the family is just trying to figure out how they can find peace.
It would be greatly appreciated if the family can be given this time. It's the holiday. It's really hard. First Christmas without Evan.
Aaron, it was just over the weekend that a senior here at Marion High created this rainbow mural. Now, as you can see here, it is in a designated parking spot, but yet and still, it's caused some real issues for some of the folks that live around here, as well as gained some unwanted attention for folks at the school.
It's just a rainbow.
But for some, it's much more than just a rainbow, and it's causing them to see red.
A few days ago, there was a community complaint, and the school had to do something about it, so they told them they had to cover it.
Initially, the principal approved the rainbow painting, but once the complaints started coming in, he had to address those concerns. And he did it by first emailing the students saying, "The school did not ask for you to repaint your parking spot. I asked to have the parking repainted due to the concern in the community it has raised. In my first meeting, I said anything that created a controversy could not be used for parking spots. The parking has to be very simple and no concerns to the community." A petition was created in response to the school's request, gaining nearly 600 signatures to leave the rainbow alone overnight. I spoke with students on campus about this, and they say it's not a school problem. It's a community problem.
I myself am religious, but I'm also a member of the LGBT community, and I think it's very hurtful to everyone, because it's the same for if someone were to put a cross on their parking spot and a non-religious person said that was offensive to them, they should have to cover that too as well by the same ruling judgment.
Though a light may be at the end of the tunnel for these students affected, I got a call from Marion High School's principal, Todd Gordon, and he informed me the painting would stay, adding that his primary concern is the safety of his students. Now again, this rainbow mural will stay, but out of respect for the family, we did not speak to the student on camera. Here for you in Marion, Ashonti Ford, KSN News. A man out of Hayes is in police custody in connection to a robbery this weekend. Hayes police shared this picture of a suspect. They say he walked into a convenience store last night, pulled out a gun and demanded money. Officers, they say the man ran away but later was found and arrested along with another person. They say a gun and stolen money were also recovered. A new city ordinance is in play, and it essentially doubles the fines you have to pay if your dog bites someone. And family gather to remember a mother and her children after a fatal house fire in Pratt. Good evening, I'm Ashonti Ford. Nearly 2 weeks ago, a fire took the lives of a mother and her 4 children. Their home caught fire, and despite the efforts to get them out, they died after being trapped in the basement of their home. Tonight, friends and family gathered in Pratt to celebrate the lives that were lost. Our own Tiffany Lane joined them at a candlelight vigil and has that story new at 10. And the family has raised nearly $20,000 on their GoFundMe page. This will help with the funeral costs, but they're also asking with help towards the new home that the remaining family will move into. A flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to Los Angeles was diverted to Eisenhower Airport this afternoon after a smell of burning plastic. Officials say the airport said the crew on American Airlines flight said they smelled something like burning plastic in the cockpit. Shortly after, crew members complained of feeling lightheaded and nauseous. So the plane landed here in Wichita so another plane could be brought in. The president and CEO of the Greater Wichita YMCA has released a statement to members following a recent rape allegation against former employee Caleb Gaston. In a post on their social media site, Ron McCohen says, quote, Mr. Gaston was a part-time employee with the Y starting in 2013. When he was hired, he underwent our rigid employment processes, including a background and reference check. He goes on to say, and I quote, at this time, his employment has been terminated and he is not permitted on YMCA premises. McCohen says the company is working with the police in this case. As of right now, 21-year-old Caleb Gaston has been charged with 1 count of rape. He is being held on a $100,000 bond for allegedly sexually assaulting a 4-year-old at a downtown Y. And Wichita police are searching for the suspects in 4 separate robberies at a business around town over the last 24 hours. The most recent was at 12:40 a.m. at a Circle K. That store is located on Maple near West Street. Police say an employee was beaten. One of the suspects is said to have been armed with a handgun. He later ran away with some cash and cigarettes. Just 10 minutes prior, there was a robbery at another Circle K in the 1200 block of South Rock Road. An employee says 2 armed suspects came in, stole money and cigarettes. No one was injured. Another robbery happened around 7:40 last night. That one was at the Metro PCS near Central and Grove. An employee says 3 armed men came in, stole money and cell phones before running away. And Wichita police say there was a robbery at the Burger King near Central and Tyler. That was around 6:20 p.m. Friday. An employee says the suspect came in saying he had a gun, stole money and ran away. Now, if you have any information on these robberies, you're asked to contact Crime Stoppers at 316-267-2111 or the Wichita Police Department detective at 316-268-4407. A Wichita man has been arrested in connection with a fatal rollover that killed his young son last August. 23-year-old Daniel Juarez Lopez was arrested yesterday with charges of involuntary manslaughter while driving under the influence and driving without a valid license. 6-year-old Daniel Ware, who is also known as Danny Boy, and Juarez Lopez were going westbound on 21st Street when the Jeep they were in crossed over the yellow lines and hit a curb. Both of them were ejected from the car.